This is the Jamie, Jack, and Stench Show. Brought to you by PrivatePhone.com.
All right, welcome to the show, everybody. It is Therapy Thursday, and the phones are blazing. Dr. Stan is our guest therapist. You can see him weekdays at noon on Starting Over, right there on NBC. Absolutely an amazing show. It's like Extreme Home Makeover, but you do it for a person.
Exactly.
And you bang it out in a short time. It's like concentrated therapy, and you guys turn people's lives around.
We absolutely do.
Really a great show to watch, and you're not like an ass like Dr. Phil.
Right. Well, I think that's a compliment, so thank you very much. Yes.
Right. Yeah, and you never make rhymes or anything,
No, not usually.
and your advice makes sense. Definitely check out the show, everybody. And we're going to jump right back to the phones right now. Here's a really good one, especially this time of year. It's Jolene. She's on the phone, graduated high school, no direction going on. Talk to Dr. Stan.
Hi.
Hi, Jolene. What's going on?
I guess you can say, actually, I graduated, but I wasn't able to walk. I'm just like I make a lot of mistakes, a lot of mistakes. I tend to push people away, I guess you can say. Like the ones that really care about me, I tend to make so many mistakes that I tend to push them away. And I guess like...
Well, you said you couldn't walk at graduation. Was there a reason why you couldn't walk graduation?
Yeah, because I made a retarded mistake.
That's the first thing they do as a disciplinary action.
Yeah,
is,
I was gonna
hey,
say,
you're not walking.
So you had some behavioral problems in high school?
No, not really.
Why didn't you get to
Yeah,
walk?
what did you do? I need to know.
No, I can't.
Come
say.
on.
What happened? So you have a diploma, which means you completed the courses and you did indeed graduate, but you didn't participate in the ceremony.
Because you made a mistake.
Yeah, I guess, well, I think right now the real issue right now is just that, like, I guess, like, the whole going to college thing.
Okay, it sounds like motivation. First of all, do you have any sense of what you want to do with your life?
That's another thing. I thought I did, but I kind of don't. And then I kind of...
Well, let me, Jolene, let me just say this. You're what, 17, 18?
Yeah.
Okay. You don't have to know what you want to do with your life, but you have to have a plan. And here's the plan. The plan is you're going to go to college because you really need to go to college today unless you're going to go to technical school and develop a career. You need to go to college. You don't have to have your major right now. You don't have to know what you want to do later. Your plan should be, I'm going to go to college. And your plan should be, I'm going to finance college. I'm going to maybe work part-time. And your plan should be social and to have friends and to take care of your mind, body, and spirit.
Yeah, well, the whole thing was, like, my friends, they're leaving far away to college. And then, like, I guess the kind of support system that I did have was, like, my boyfriend, but...
Where's he going?
Well, he goes to a community college, but he's kind of, like, overprotectively, like, really jealous and doesn't want me dorming and, like...
Okay, well, wait a second.
Don't let that guy hold you back.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. You can never let a relationship, just like Stench said, you cannot let a relationship stop your progress in life. That's an enmeshment. We call that, it's a symbiosis. It's a unhealthy attachment to someone. You need, at this age, to be independent. This is a very important time. You know, the time between high school and about 25, 26 is a time when you make that transition to adult life and you start developing who you are and really figuring out what you want and what you like. And you can't do that when you're attached to someone else.
Yeah.
It's extremely difficult. So one of the things you're struggling with is, should you break up with this guy? It sounds like you need to be alone. You need to be able to be independent, not be controlled, and maybe you'll stop making some mistakes. And once again, you don't need to have your whole life planned out. You just need to plan for the immediate future, and that is college, part-time work, developing friends, having fun, and taking care of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Or sit around and be that guy's girlfriend.
I know. It's just I've been together for so long, so it's going to be like...
You're how old? You're 18, right?
Yeah, but like throughout like my whole high school.
Okay, so maybe it's time to experience other people, because one of the things that happens is you get so stuck in a relationship that you really don't know what you like and don't like. You just get used to something, and then later on you'll reject it. And so better than rejecting it later on when you have 2 kids and you have to go through divorce is right now start dating other guys to really find out what kind of men you like and who you are. And the other thing is this, when you date other people, you really hopefully bring out the best in you with different people, and you get to find out who you like best with you because you like yourself best with them.
Yeah.
You know, it's one thing I discovered being a guy that got married when I was 21 years old and obviously didn't work out and ended up divorced and just it was a bad thing for me to do. I'll tell anyone that's about to get married that's really young, you know what, if you love this guy, if this is the guy and you think this is who you're going to marry eventually, guess what? He's going to be around in 5 years then when you graduate college or whatever happens. This guy's not going anywhere. If it's meant to be and it's going to work out and this is the guy, then it's going to work out. You know, it will go. But if it's not the guy, then, you know, you're living your life. Keep moving on. Don't let him hold you back.
Yeah, you can't be controlled, Jolene, at this time, and you really need to develop your sense of self, independent. And when you say to me you've been with him for a long time, he's the only boyfriend you really had, that really says to me you really don't know yourself very well, separate from him. So I think one of the things you have to do is work on sort of extricating yourself from this relationship, or at least developing a relationship that's more open and not a closed system. Okay? And then the other thing is immediate plan. Set yourself up in community college because you can do that. No, everybody can do that. You just have to be 18 or have a high school diploma.
Well, I'm already going to it.
Where are you going to go?
I'm pretty sure UCR.
Riverside.
UC Riverside?
Well, that's not a community
Well,
college.
that's a good. That's University of California.
Oh.
So and you already got accepted and you're
I'm
ready
not
to
sure,
go?
wait, you're accepted to UCR? Okay.
See, that's cool.
All right, so then you have a plan.
Yeah, congratulations.
Okay.
So basically, are you calling here to have Dr. Stan talk you out of going and telling you to stay with your boyfriend and go to community college?
No.
That's
You
what it
still
sounds like.
You still need to tell us what you did so that you didn't get to walk.
No,
I need to know.
It's
Yeah.
just-
It's going to drive me
Did
crazy.
you show up at prom drunk as a
No.
skunk?
No, it's just something.
Because if it's something cool, you might have a career in entertainment.
No,
Yeah.
What did you do?
Or at least you'd make the show more interesting, is what
Right.
Jack's really
What
saying.
happened?
it's not something cool.
Okay.
It's not something
But
cool?
Jolene, it sounds like, I mean, I'm not
No,
sure.
it's just I went to a private school, so I guess they're more strict on everything that you do, so it's easier for them to
Yeah, they
say.
frown on taking off your prom dress and running around a private school. It's crazy.
All right,
Those-
but you've got
Stench
some
knows.
direction. You've got
Yes,
some.
I do.
If you're going to UCR, that's great. I really think you should look at your relationship. You cannot go off to college and be in this kind of relationship. It's not healthy.
Okay,
Okay.
Good advice, Jolene, and good luck to you out at UC Riverside. Right now, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we have got, here's a really good one. Kids made abuse accusations. They have one advice from Dr. Stan, and we will take that call when we come back.
Hey, shrinks are Jack and Stench.
Star 98.7.
It is Therapy Thursday. Dr. Stan Katz is with us. He is a wonderful therapist out of Beverly Hills, and he is our guest today, taking the questions for Therapy Thursday. And when I left you, I told you we were going to talk to Kate. Now, she said her kids made abuse accusations. Kate, talk to Dr. Stan Katz.
Hi, Kate.
Hi, Kate.
Hi.
What's going on?
Well, it's a couple years down the road, still going through all of the fallout of the allegations, which caused the divorce. And the children...
Turn your radio down, Kate.
Yeah,
they're-
and
Okay, and the children are acting out.
Okay, how old is the child who made an accusation?
It was starting at one child, 3.5.
Turn your radio down. It's going to drive me crazy in the background. You can't talk to us while you're listening to 16 seconds ago.
Okay,
Okay.
All right, so your 3.5-year-old made an allegation against who?
father.
Okay, and said that the father molested him or her?
Pointy thing and pointed to her private places.
Say that again?
Put a pointy thing in her private place.
Okay, so it was an allegation of sexual molestation. Were you getting divorced at the time?
No,
Okay, and did you believe your daughter?
no,
But so who did your daughter make this allegation to?
me.
And then you told an authority figure,
Told the husband.
and then what happened?
Denied it.
Okay, and you didn't believe it though.
No,
Okay, you didn't believe the denial, or you didn't believe your daughter.
I didn't believe my daughter.
Okay, but then they got
what
reported to the authorities.
3.5-year-old makes up something like that, though? I would always believe my daughter in that case.
Well, very convincing.
Well, so
Very
wait,
convincing.
well,
What
wait,
happened? Yeah.
before so you made a report to somebody. Someone.
No.
Well, you said you're still involved with the child
Yeah,
abuse
you-
support.
Eventually it did, yes, come out because there was more than this.
We need more of the story.
Okay,
You're not
so
really giving us
here's
a
the
lot.
question: do you believe your daughter was molested by your husband?
Now
Okay.
and a while back, but not in the very beginning, no.
Okay, so what is your question today?
My question today is the whole thing has come full circle. I've gone through the whole process of trying to get this proven out there, help for my kids, find out what happened. 2 therapists, psychologists came on board and were behind the children. And
There's more than one child here that made an accusation?
the second child was acting out in school. The older of the 2, at that time he was 6. The school contacted Child Services to make
Made the
a
report,
sexual
okay.
report. But I didn't know anything about
That
him.
started the mechanism rolling, and now are people disbelieving you? Are they saying now that you...
Absolutely disbelieving me,
Yeah.
except for the 2 psychologists that have been disallowed to come forward.
So this is a really complex problem, way
Very.
beyond the scope of this show. But let me just say this. Any allegation of sexual abuse by a young child under the age of 5 is a very complicated accusation. It has to be carefully evaluated. There's a lot of research about this, about false allegations, about true allegations, about people who feel that they're alienating one parent from the other by helping a child make allegations. I mean, this is such a complex matter, but I will tell you this, that children do lie, they do distort, and they do tell the truth. They do all three.
At the same time sometimes.
Yeah, 3.5-year-old children can lie and can tell you something sometimes because they think you want to hear it, and sometimes they'll tell you the truth, and sometimes they'll distort it. So it's very hard after the fact, years later, to find out what happened. We always go back to the first interview. Who interviewed the child first? What happened in that first interview? Was there a motive for one parent to make an allegation against another parent? You know, starting about 20 years ago, we had a... kind of an epidemic of allegations made of sexual abuse within the context of divorces. And there were young children that a mom was saying, for example, I think the father, who's a bastard, molested my child. And it would be a 2-3-year-old child, and we couldn't prove it at all. Well, what we found is some of those kids were molested, some of them were not molested. So everybody becomes suspect in these cases. Just because a child reports it doesn't mean it happened. Just because a parent says it happened doesn't mean it didn't happen. And so it's very complicated. Now, you're stuck in this whole system. You're probably in the dependency system or family law system. There may have been criminal charges. It's very complicated, and it's way beyond, unfortunately, the time we have allotted here and the type of show we're doing to really discuss this, except to say this, that it's never cut and dry in these cases. You really have to look at all the data. We call it multifaceted data collection. We have to collect a lot of data and find out what's going on and see if this child was molested or not. But now it's years later, and you're now getting what's called the rebound, which is maybe mom made this up. Maybe mom did this because she was trying to alienate children from dad. And that's apparently what you're suffering right now, even though you say there's been proof.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Kate, how long was it from the time the 3.5-year-old made the accusation until you really started, you got authorities involved and it was investigated?
That's my fear, too. It's like, how scary is it if you don't do anything and then this goes on, is going on, and you look at like a year go by of this going on?
Authorities, I was too frightened to do the authorities, so when I went to the DA through an attorney friend, I was told to get them into what's called evaluation type therapy.
Right.
But how long
I
had
did
it been?
that.
I mean, did you do this right away, or did you wait a while? Because you said you believed your husband right
yes,
off the bat.
Yes, I did. And when then 90 days went by and another incident happened, which I was privy to.
So not,
then 90 days went by and another incident happened.
So it,
and,
it was a while.
So we're
and,
at
but
6
the,
months down the line.
Yeah,
family counselor was involved the whole time.
Yeah,
he was on board the whole time.
Kate, the problem is this. Because children are so unreliable, it's very difficult to find out the truth. And you have to have a very skilled clinician who really walks into the situation objectively, who doesn't believe it happened and doesn't believe it didn't happen, and they have to evaluate it thoroughly.
Wow. That's
very
gotta
complicated.
be.
This is a very complicated issue.
And this is one of your specialties.
Unfortunately, I've worked a great deal with child sexual abuse for about 20 years.
And Dr. Katz, I would think it'd be important to get that process started sooner than later.
Well, let me tell you something.
Evidence like that is...
You know, Jack, anybody who has a child who makes a disclosure that's disturbing like this, the first thing you do is you take that child to the pediatrician usually, and let the pediatrician guide you and see a professional. Don't interrogate the child. That's a mistake. Don't ask a lot of questions. Just listen to what the child says and then consult a professional.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Excellent advice. It is Therapy Thursday. That is Dr. Stan Katz. He is with us today. And when we come back, we are going to get on the line with. We've got a whole lot of them. Here, I know which one we're gonna go to. Someone who has an 18-year-old daughter that is controlled by her boyfriend, and they want advice from Dr. Stan on how to handle that. And we'll do that when we come back right here on the Jamie, Jack, and Stench Show.
Hey, shrinks are the Jamie, Jack, and Stench Show.
Star 98.7.
Hey, that was new Kelly Clarkson music for you right there.
Stench loved it. It's called Walk Away. Look for it. Or just email Stench.
It was by request from me. So I want to throw that out there and rock it. We're in the middle of Therapy Thursday. Dr. Stan Katz is our guest. He is a fine, fine therapist from Beverly Hills, and he has been in here with us all morning long as our guest host. And let's just get right back into it because the phone lines are always jammed when Dr. Stan is here. And let's talk to Shelly. Before we went away, I told you She has an 18-year-old daughter that she feels is controlled by her boyfriend. She wants advice from Dr. Stan. Welcome to the show, Shelly.
Hi.
Hi, Shelly.
Just real quick, my daughter's 18. Today's her last day of school. She's graduating. She's an honor student, straight A's, never been in trouble. Met a guy, he's older. He's 6 years older, and this worries me. She moved in with him the week she turned 18, before school even ended. She just packed up and moved out. And there's no problems between her and I. It was a complete, I was blindsided. And I'm hearing from her friends that he tells her what she can and can't wear. She can't go to lunch with her girlfriends because boys will look at her, and she has to come home and eat. She takes him to and from work. He doesn't have a car.
Okay.
She's giving up her life. She gave up college.
Ooh. Oh. That's not right.
So why, Shelly, what does she say about why she's with this man? There's got to be something, a payoff for her. Why is she with him?
He's really hot.
Is he taking care of her? Is he?
He has an apartment. I think it was just the thrill of an older guy and being able to move out at 18 and kind of do what you want to do. And
well, not really. You're saying she cannot do what she wants to do.
Yeah, I think she's got a dose of that, and I'm afraid she doesn't have the strength to admit it and come home.
Did she want to get out of your house, though? Was that a motivation?
She did, and it wasn't because there was anything wrong other than she's very strong-willed, very independent.
And is your husband still around?
No, well, he's in the picture, and I believe she's kind of doing this to get back at him because he didn't want to help out with her college. And she felt she's been such a good kid her entire life and straight A's that she deserved for him to support her through college.
So this is, in some way, this is delayed rebellion. She's
a
good kid in high school, and now she's really rebelling against everything. And unfortunately, these kinds of mistakes sometimes are critical and long-lasting. I mean, here she is. She's moving right from one controlling situation, which is a family, which always is controlling, to a man who's controlling her, who's 6 years older. You there?
Yeah.
Pass out.
So, stop, drop, and roll.
Exactly. Yeah, pull over, please. Don't drive and do this simultaneously. It's dangerous. But, she's now with a man you say is controlling her. Now, I'm not sure how much she's being controlled. It may be that she likes this situation, that she likes the relationship she's in. Is she complaining at all about it to you?
She does. Not to me, but to my sister. She's real close to my sister, and she cries to her all the time. And
okay. Does she feel trapped?
I'm worried that she does, and I don't know him at all. He only entered the picture in December, and I don't get a good feeling when I do get around him.
There are two things I want to impress upon you and her. Number one, not to get pregnant and not to get married.
I keep praying
God.
with, I pray that, and I've talked to her, and, she was set to go to college, and now she's already backed out on that. And
does she have a new plan? Is she working?
She works, but now instead of going to, she was set up at DeVry for a business degree, and instead she decided to take the summer off and maybe go to community college.
Okay, here's what I would suggest is she's satisfying some unmet need. What you may want to do is sit down with her and say, look, let's figure this out. What would you like to do? Do you want to take a year off from college? Do you want to go travel? Do you want to work? What do you want to do? As opposed to living in this situation that you're unhappy in. Because this situation may have been a route for her to get out of the house. She may have been ambivalent about college. She may not know what she wants to do. And it's not unusual that a girl like this might find some guy attractive. But I think it's going to get old very quickly. And hopefully she's not going to get pregnant. She won't get married, so she won't be really stuck.
Well,
but I think you have to offer some options.
Life really quick.
And I know, well, and mind you, I'm no doctor, but Dr. Stan, I've seen this just through friends when I was younger. These girls who get with these older guys, and I worry too about that guy because older guys like these young girls that they can control and manipulate. And that's what they will do.
Yeah,
They'll
you
knock
mold
her
them.
up.
Right.
Yeah, and because they can control them and keep them around. This is some guy who has some kind of insecurity about women too, who wants somebody that he can control and keep, and that's what he'll do. He'll marry her, he'll propose right away, or he'll try and get her knocked up.
He will trap her. And part of the problem, though, is that men can't control a woman who won't be controlled.
Dad
And
needs to go over there and whoop ass.
So she wanted to be controlled. She was looking, maybe she has her relationship with her father probably is inadequate. It's not satisfying. She may be looking for a father figure. He's 6 years old. He's not that much older, but he may be looking for someone to make her feel older. I think what you really have to do, Shelley, is get to the issue of what is she unhappy about in her life. Maybe offer her some counseling. Maybe, say, I'll pay for some counseling so you can go see someone. I assume she's not done that yet.
No, I put her
Oh,
on hold.
okay.
Yeah.
So she's gone. Okay.
Yeah.
But I hope she's still listening. But really, she needs some counseling to kind of have an objective person help her straighten her life out. I think the moral of the story is that when you have a delayed rebellion, as some kids do when they're not acting out during adolescence, sometimes they make these critical errors right after they graduate high school. They feel free, but it's really a false sense of freedom, and they want to experience more of it.
You're not really in charge of anything
They're
when you
not
graduate high
because
school.
they don't have the funds, they don't have the money, they don't
Yeah.
have the wherewithal. And so what happens is they get into a situation that makes them feel like an adult, but they really don't. And often what happens is they get trapped. And when they get trapped, it's disastrous.
Yeah. I did that. I moved in with a 37-year-old woman when I was 19.
Okay, you're saying that very quietly. You
I
don't
know,
want
I
anybody to know about that, huh? Just three
No,
of us.
I actually went home, though. I called my mom and said, Mama, I'm coming home.
Well, but Stench, that's because we all make mistakes.
Yeah.
We're going to make mistakes, but the ability to understand that we've made a mistake, to see the mistake for what it is, and to not feel trapped is really what we have to work on.
Yeah, totally. I get you. When we can work through more problems, we're going to do that when we come back. And next, we're going to fire up the Voice Disguiser 7000. Remember, that's our piece of equipment that can change your voice. No one will know who you are because someone is still having sex with their ex, and they want to talk to Dr. Stan Katz about it when we come back.
Hey, Shrinks are a Stench Show.
Star 98.7.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is that time of the Morning Therapy Thursday. It always comes to this, I'm sorry to say, but we have to fire up the Voice Disguiser 7000. Jack, are you ready?
Yes, just have her say hi, though, so I can hear to make sure it sounds,
Okay,
dialed
for
in.
those of you that don't know, the Voice Disguiser 7000 is the latest, greatest piece of radio broadcast technology to hit the radio broadcasting universe. It now has a Hemi in it. It's HD. It does everything, and it's the most amazing piece of equipment in
And it's now available in pink.
Yeah, ours, we have a hot pink one.
Yeah.
But
It's
wait,
really
before
cool.
we do we have a name for that we're calling this woman?
Name?
She's
got, I'm assuming, a fake name
right.
down there. Let's hope when they ask for the Voice Disguiser 7000, we've usually already changed their name, and she's having sex with her ex. Her name, we'll call her Jennifer. Jennifer, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Oh, okay, good.
Good morning, Jennifer. What's going on?
Good morning. I've been in a sexual relationship for the past, I'd say it's almost a year, with my ex-boyfriend who, it's a destructive relationship, and logically I should want nothing to do with it, but emotionally I'm really addicted to it, and he wants to date other people, and he has, and it's, and when I hear about it, like, my anxiety borderline panic, but I'm unable to really detach myself from the situation, and it's not from lack of trying; it's just lack of discipline. And
Wait. Why, you keep going back to him because the sex is great, or because you're emotionally connected to him?
Emotionally connected.
Okay, and how's the sex?
It's great, but that's not really the biggest part of it.
Okay, so if it's not the biggest part, can you discontinue that part?
Oh, it's so hard.
Okay, so
I bet he'll move on if you discontinue
well,
that part.
Here's the thing. Why are you willing to accept the scraps instead of the full meal?
Ew.
No, really? I mean, are you dating any other people?
I just started to, but I really have no interest whatsoever in dating other people.
So you're dealing with hope, aren't you? You're thinking that somehow this is going to end up working out again?
Well, denial, yeah. It's complete denial. And it's not going to work, but I don't know.
Can I tell you something? I'm going to call you Jennifer. I'm not sure that's your name because it sounds like I'm talking to a drag queen anyway. But Jennifer, let me just say this. There's a reality here, and that is that you would not be in this relationship today, in my opinion, unless you had hope. Hope that something would happen here. I don't think you're willing to continue taking this morsels that he gives you instead of the meal unless you feel there's some hope that something will happen, that he'll come to his senses, that he'll see how great you are, that he'll want you back.
You're going to sleep with him. It's going to be so good he can't go without you.
Yeah, I think you somehow feel this has got to be hopeful. Because if I told you right now today there's no way, no possibility, it's never going to happen, you might rethink this.
You're right. I do have hope, and I've talked to him about that, and he's pretty much just, let me down very straight and said, look, it's not something
It's
that's going
false
to happen.
hope, Jennifer.
Okay, so that's not going to work. So here's the real question. Why are you willing to demean yourself like this? Why are you willing to be just his extra girlfriend while he goes out and date other women? You know, don't you have the self-esteem that will hopefully insulate you from this kind of behavior?
You sound like Jamie, Dr. Stan.
We have to keep her in the room, you know, in the spirit. Jamie sometimes hits it, you know that?
No, she's
Yeah,
amazing.
she hits it. So, I mean, Jennifer, really, where's your self-esteem? Why do you want to be second, third, fourth with this man?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I don't have a good answer, really.
Jennifer, that good question is your answer.
Well, and part of it is because you still have hope, and hope is not a plan, as you know. There's no planning. It's waiting for something to happen. You have to make your life happen. So you have to go out and find someone who really wants to be with you. Don't you deserve that?
I put her on hold.
Okay.
I'm done with her.
All right. She deserves to have someone who wants to be with her.
You know what's funny? It's so funny. The people that call here and they already know the answer before they call.
They do, but they want some validation. They want to hear it. But the truth of the matter, Stench, for her, is that she's selling herself really short, and that's because she thinks that someday she's going to hit the jackpot, and she's not going to hit the jackpot.
And I'm telling you, as the guy, you're perfect. He's getting extra booty on the side, and as long as you're giving it, he's going to take it because that's just
and
the
you know,
way
at some
guys
point,
going to operate.
At some point, she's going to pressure him. He's going to say no, and he's going to reject her outright.
And it'll be
it's not
over.
Be worth it. It's going to be over then.
And he'll totally move
and it'll
on.
damage your self-esteem even more.
Oof. Real quick, I'm going to jump on with somebody. We probably won't finish this call immediately, but we're going to get it started. It's Tracy. Tracy, you are on the phone with Dr. Stan Katz. Welcome to the show.
Good morning.
Hi, Tracy.
How are you?
Good. What's going on?
Good. I've been dating this wonderful person for over a year now. Everything's going really well with us, but we're kind of going out of our mind with his 13-year-old son. I have two kids, 14 and 20, and he has two boys, 9 and 13. And the 13-year-old is just a nightmare. He's manipulative and disrespectful with his dad, and we just have all kinds of problems with him. Basically, we know that we need some kind of counseling. But,
let me ask you a question, Tracy. Does the mother encourage this negative behavior with your boyfriend and you?
Well, that's the thing that I was going to say, too. That's very
Sorry, I just like the
frustrating
voice
for me.
disguiser.
Stop it, Jack.
Okay, say that again, Tracy. The boys here were playing.
I don't need the voice disguiser.
No, you don't.
That's the thing that I was going to also bring up that's frustrating for me is actually he's a widower. And
Ooh.
so people are using the excuse, and actually the therapist he was with before that, well, he's grieving his mom. But the thing is they were dysfunctional like this before she ever died. I mean, he used to call his mom names and steal from her purse.
But how long ago did she die? How long ago did she die?
We met each other probably a month after she died. She's only been dead a little over a year.
Okay.
But
Well, that's
we
still...
weren't dating right immediately.
No, but that's still really fresh. And, you know, I would assume that the kids would still be mourning their mother. They may have guilt feelings about their mother.
Right.
You know, you're the new woman. How do you get along with the 13-year-old?
I get along fine. I can get along fine with him, and he's actually very respectful with me because he knows that he can't get away with it with me. You know, on the surface we get along fine, but underneath he knows there's a problem, and what my problem is, like I said, basically his disrespect. I mean, it's just incredible with his dad. One day he was mad at his dad and told him, "Look for bitch." And
Okay, well, there may be a couple of things going on. One, he may be testing his father to see if he will stay and not abandon him because he's already been abandoned by his mother. That's one thing. The other thing is the father may be his own guilt about what happened with the mom, and so therefore he's overindulging. So he needs to set more limits. You do need a family counselor. I think it's really important, you know, to make this work. This kid's probably got some more issues and deeper issues than you even would think about. He's not a bad
absolutely.
kid.
But the thing that's again happening, even talking to you right here, is everybody goes back to the fact that this is all coming from his mom dying.
No, I didn't say that. I want you to be aware, though, that there's implications and consequences about his mother's death that far outseed what you think.
No, absolutely, and and I acknowledge that, and I agree with that, and I haven't tried to push myself on him, anything like that. I've just been there, you know, if he needs me, but. The thing is that he was doing these things before his mom ever died, and no one was addressing it.
You don't think that would compound the problem a little bit? Imagine you're already doing that stuff. You're already, you know, a problem kid, let's say, and then the tragedy like that in your life could really put you over
in
the
fact,
edge.
sometimes kids think they actually killed their parent by their behavior, and so they are so guilt-ridden that they actually continue to act out. This kid needs some grief counseling, needs some family counseling. You're blending a family. It's really complicated. You really need some professional help. Call your local community mental health center. They'll be able to help you.
Tracy, take Dr. Stan's advice when we come back.
Thank you, Tracy.
We kick this off. The Voice Disguiser 7000 is for real.
All right, good.
We need it again?
Yes, Tammy is here. She's got a 7-year relationship with her boyfriend and no signs of marriage. What should she do?
And you guys decide chipmunk or transvestite.
Oh, no, transvestite's cool because it's just funny. Makes us laugh every time.
Chipmunk is hard to deal with, too. So
we'll take that call with Dr. Stan Katz when we come back.
Jamie, Jack, and Stench.
Star 98.7.
Welcome back to the show. It's Jack and Stench here today with our guest host, Dr. Stan Katz out of Beverly Hills, our therapist for today. Thank you so much for being here, Dr. Stan.
let me correct something.
Yes.
I am a therapist, but I'm a psychologist, clinical psychologist.
You're our therapist today.
Therapists are all kinds of people.
Well,
right?
yeah, that's true. You therapists go like
you can
different
be
ways.
Psychiatrists, social workers, nurses.
And you are a clinical
therapist.
psychologist?
I'm a clinical and forensic psychologist.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which means I do a lot of psycho-legal work.
That's cool.
And Dr. Stan, I had somebody email me and wondered, can they get in contact with you? Do you
yes,
have a private practice?
I actually have a private practice.
Okay.
I'm in Beverly Hills, yes, and I'm listed under psychologist under Dr. Stan Katz.
Okay, good, because I actually
and in fact, I'm going to be doing some seminars in the fall. I'll let people know when and where on parenting, on relationships,
well,
and
Stench
marriage.
and I front row seats, please.
Jack and I will come.
I've already
we'll
got
bring
you
our
guys
young
reserved.
ones.
You're
We'll be like case studies.
Exactly.
When you need somebody from the
fall.
audience, we'll be there.
Hey, I know those two idiots. Come here.
We need case studies. That'll be good.
Right now, Jack, they all
right,
call
you
for
ready?
Dr. Stan, and the voice disguiser needs to be ready again.
Okay, let me fire it up.
Because we have Tammy on the line, and Tammy is in a 7-year relationship. There's no sign of marriage. She has requested the voice disguiser 7000. Tammy, you're on the line with Dr. Stan Katz.
Hi.
Hi, Tammy.
Okay. It's a long-term relationship. Pretty much for the beginning of the relationship, I didn't know that he was cheating on me, but he was.
How many years ago was that?
Well, probably about 3 years ago.
Okay.
So we're midway through the relationship, but midway through the relationship, I found out that he was cheating on me, and I'm pretty much past that. I just kind of come to terms with it, and I'm okay with that. I mean, whatever. I'm trying to get along with
Wait,
him.
is he still cheating on you?
No.
Okay.
No. And right now at this point, I don't believe there aren't those signs that he was giving me before. So right now, I know he hasn't cheated since.
All right. So what's the
all
problem
of
now,
this
Tammy?
stuff.
What's the problem now?
Well, because it's still going on, 7 years past that time, we haven't really he hasn't really just come down and proposed. He hasn't really, we haven't really sat down and had a discussion about marriage. Yeah, we do talk about.
Are you living together? Are you living together at this point?
No.
Okay.
No, we're not.
Tammy, how old are you?
I'm not too. I'll be 34 this year.
Okay, so you're 33, and how old is he?
He is early 40s.
Okay, early 40s. Either one of you been married before?
No.
Okay, so you want to get married? You want to get married, and he hasn't proposed yet?
No.
I have a question. I'm leery of any guy that's gotten to the age of 40 and hasn't ever been married. I think he's not going to. There's a bigger issue of this dude's not the marrying type.
Well, the research shows, you're right, Stench, that if you haven't been married, if you're a male, haven't been married by 40, the chances of you getting married afterwards are fairly low. That even men who are divorced will get married a second time because they've been married before.
Yeah.
And they really will recouple. So he doesn't sound like he's never wanted to be married before, and he still doesn't want to marry you, right?
Well, like I said, every now and then he kind of mentions future. So an example would be...
Yeah, but that sounds like it's a carrot to keep you there, that he still wants to keep you involved and interested. Here's the thing. Do you want to be married?
Yeah, and believe me, everyone has said that. If you want to get married, then find somebody that wants to be married and be in love with you and all that other stuff.
Well, here's my question. Do you want to be calling this show in 10 years when you're 43 years old and saying, I'm still waiting to get married?
Right.
Well, no. Do you want to be?
No.
Are you sure?
By then, I'd like to say that I've at least gotten that far in my life.
Okay,
was
so
able to
if
find-
here's the question. If you sit down with him and have a heart-to-heart and say to him, look, I want to be married. I love you. You love me. We're together. What's going on here? Will he tell you the truth about what he wants and what he doesn't want?
He has said that he does want to get married,
When?
but right
When?
now the
When?
time, and
When?
that's just it. Yeah, exactly. He is giving me the carrot, and just kind of, I'm taking little nibbles here and there. But what he says is, timing's just not right.
Oh, I have a
Give
question.
me some time.
Are you a pain in the ass like most women, where you want this wedding
hell
that's
no.
going to be? Do you want this giant, like I'm a princess wedding that's going to cost a fortune and all that stuff?
You know, oddly enough, everyone thinks I'm crazy, but no, I am far, far from that.
Does he
I'm
know
not
that?
the princess. Oh yeah.
Because that stalled out my last wedding.
Here, yeah.
No.
Kind of slowed it down a little bit.
Tammy, here's the real issue, and that is he owes you this. He owes you an explanation of why he doesn't want to get married and what he wants to have happen before he does marry you. In other words, does he want to be in a certain job? Does he want to make a certain amount of money? Does he want to have a house? What does he want?
A lot of that times, if you're waiting for those goals to happen before you get married, I know people doing that.
And some people do that, but at least he owes you an explanation. To just say I'm not ready means that he's ambivalent about something other than marriage. And so you really have to have that heart-to-heart. And once again, I know I get to be like a broken record, but you might want to sit down with a professional, the two of you, and sort of before you decide yay or nay on this relationship, really hear him out. And he may be able to give some answers in front of a professional that will edify you more than what you're getting now, that will tell you more where he's at, because he's certainly not open to telling you what's going on right now.
All right, if you are, by the way, we're going to wrap up Therapy Thursday here in just a little bit. Coming up on the phone, we're going to talk to Cheech. Cheech is
lots of therapy for Cheech.
Yeah,
huh?
Cheech Marin. He's got a lot of cool stuff going on. He's actually going to talk to us about NASCAR. We're going to talk about NASCAR with Cheech. How is that going to happen?
Very therapeutic.
And by the way, if you do want therapy, you can reach the clinical psychologist and forensic psychologist, Dr. Stan Katz. He's in Beverly Hills. You can look him up, and he has been our therapist for today. When we come back, we're going to talk to Cheech. If we can get a couple more calls, we will, so don't all go away. But we're coming back with Cheech Marin right here on the Jamie, Jack, and Stench Show.
Jamie, Jack, and Stench Show.
Star 98.7.
All right, you guys, we have got a superstar on the privatephone.com hotline. Please welcome to the show, Cheech Marin. Hi, Cheech.
Hello, man. Take your order.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Man, you are in the #1 movie in America right now.
How about that? I wish I had all the bucks.
Hey, how did that work out? They made you play the lowrider. What's up with that?
It was a stretch for me. But I thought, well, maybe I could do this.
You know what? It's so funny. I saw it, and it's absolutely great. And George Carlin is the Volkswagen bus, the hippie bus.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Now, how was that? I know when they do these things a lot of times, you guys aren't even together. You just go in, you track your voice, and you never meet all these other superstars in the film?
Yeah, no, you're always in the studio by yourself, so they can separate the voices easier and match them to the animation.
Oh, man. So you never get to meet all the cool people in the movie.
Sometimes that's better,
What are you saying? Hey, what's happening with this NASCAR? I saw this. This was surprising me. You're going up over the June 23rd through the 25th. You're going to be in Northern California doing a NASCAR event?
Yeah, it's Sonoma, the Sonoma Raceway there. It's going to be a great one, man. It's going to be really a lot of fun. I want to invite everybody to come on. I was never into NASCAR until I started making this Cars movie, and I can see what's real popular. It's very simple. They just go fast and make a left.
Yeah, they go fast and make a left, and then the people in the crowd cheer wildly and drink beer.
And chicks dig it,
Yeah. Isn't it crazy? Have you been to many events at all?
No, I just went to that one.
Oh, you're gonna absolutely love these events. I know we go out there to the Fontana when they come to town, and it's like a Hooter Fest.
Yeah, baby.
And I like this, too. This is like your official job. It says Cheech will be honored at the Grand Marshal's banquet on Friday, June 23rd at some, big sign thing out there. And then you've got attend the NASCAR drivers meeting on Sunday of race weekend, and that's kind of your job. And then you say, gentlemen, start your engines, and you're done.
Hey, I like that.
That's a cool job.
That's not bad at all.
They come and find you and ask you to do this. It's cool. Come out and party for the weekend with NASCAR people.
How bad can it be?
What's coming up for you, Cheech?
I'm just about to. I'm working on a series for VH1 that I'm just writing right now, and so we'll see what that happens with that.
Is it going to be like a sitcomish or a reality show
No,
based?
Kind of, sort of reality, sort of kind of my reality.
Oh man, they'll follow you around?
Well, I'm going to be in the political realm.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, baby.
She's running for office.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
You can take on the Terminator.
I just met with him the other day.
Really? Well,
Yeah.
on political issues, or like, hey, you want to be in my
I wanted
movie?
to send him back some photographs I had of him.
No, that's funny. Now, actually, we got to bounce out. They told us too that you've got to jump off the line real quick.
Yeah, I do. I got to jump off.
The movie is Cars. It's in theaters now. It's the #1 film in America. You're funny as usual in everything that you do. Thanks for calling in today, Cheech.
Thank you very much.
All right.
See you guys out there.
All right, we'll see you out the NASCAR.
All right.
Yeehaw!
Jamie, Jack, and Sten.